Hello students. So our next concept is about how do our activities affect the environment. Whose activities? Definitely human activities. How human activities are affecting the environment. Okay. So we are an integral part of the environment. Changes in the environment definitely affect us and our activities change the environment around us. Right? So that is damn sure. We have already seen in class 9 how our activities pollute the environment. Right? Some of the pollutions we have studied in our ninth class, they are water pollution, soil pollution, air pollution, right? About many sorts of pollution and how the human activities are polluting all these environmental factors we have studied in our ninth class. So in class 10th, we'll study about depletion of ozone layer as well as waste disposal methods. Out of these two, this class will study about depletion of ozone layer. So what is meant by ozone depletion? Means ozone levels are decreasing, reducing the levels of ozone. So before studying about what are the causes and concerns for ozone depletion, we should study about or we should know about what is meant by ozone. So what is ozone? Ozone is nothing but triatomic oxygen molecule. Okay, ozone is a triatomic oxygen molecule, O3. Okay, and we know general reference we use that oxygen, that is O2 is a diatomic oxygen molecule. O2 is a diatomic oxygen molecule. Definitely this oxygen is required for all aerobically respiring organisms. Whatever organism respirates, okay, aerobically, for all those organisms this diatomic oxygen is needed. But coming to this triatomic oxygen molecule, that is ozone, is very toxic in nature and poisonous in nature if we breathe. Okay, it's very toxic and poisonous gas. Then how it is important to us? When it is a poisonous gas, how can you concern that it is important to us, and why should we bother when ozone is depleting? Because I told you that it is a poisonous gas. Yes, exactly. It is poisonous gas, but this O3 is not located in the atmospheric level. It is located and it is forming above the atmospheric level. Okay, above the atmospheric level, that too above the stratosphere. So because of the UV radiation which comes from sun, this diatomic oxygen can be converted into triatomic oxygen, that is to O3. Anyhow we don't and go there and we don't breathe that gas, right? Triatomic oxygen gas, anyhow we don't breathe because we don't stay, none of the organisms stay above the atmospheric levels or above the stratosphere level, right? So because of that we don't breathe that gas, but this O3 gas form as a shield around the atmosphere, around the earth, and giving protection to all the living beings from the UV radiation penetration, okay, or exposing to the UV radiation. This O3 is giving protection to all the living beings. Okay, so we should study what is ozone once you have a look on the typed lines here. So O3 is ozone is the molecule formed by 3 atoms of oxygen, while O2, which we normally refer to as oxygen, which is essential for all aerobic forms of life. Ozone is a deadly poison. However, at the higher levels of the atmosphere, ozone performs an essential function, and it shields the surface of the earth from UV radiation, from ultraviolet radiation which comes from sun. This radiation is highly damaging to organisms. For example, It is known to cause skin cancer. Yeah, exactly. When we expose to UV radiation, there is a chance of getting skin cancers because that much intensity and that much concentrated rays they are, UV radiation. So they can penetrate through our skin and they can mutate the DNA structure of the skin cells. They can change the DNA structure of the skin cells so that they can cause skin cancers also, because mutations in the cells can cause skin cancers. Okay, so that much dangerous is that UV radiation. That's why your elders tell you, even your parents tell you, your teachers tell you, we should use some ultraviolet protecting skincare products, right? Whenever you enter or whenever you expose to sunlight, definitely you should use sunscreen lotions. So it's not a beauty tip, it's a skin protecting tips there. Okay, even this sunscreen lotions, if you use, on the sunscreen lotions they write SPF, sun protecting formula, can be written, SPF can be written on them, that is sun protecting formula. So that depend on the time, how long you can stay or how long you can expose to the sun, that amount, SPF 30 or the SPF 40, SPF 50, you can choose. Longer time you stay, more number you can choose. Okay, so because of this UV radiation entry into the skin, somehow it can be regulated. Okay, even you should use scarves or caps, especially during the like after 11 to till 3 o'clock, whenever you are exposed to sunlight, definitely you should use some caps or scarves to cover your body, because during the time UV concentration is very high. Okay, here you will get doubt, ozone is there, then why should we protect? Definitely we should protect, because these days, because of some of the human activities, this ozone is depleting, ozone levels are decreasing. Then how this ozone is forming actually? So I told you this ozone giving protection to the organisms who are on the earth. But how this ozone can be formed, that we should know, no? Definitely that we should study how it can be formed. So suppose you see this slide, you check this slide. Okay, here you consider these as diatomic oxygen molecule. When this diatomic oxygen molecule is exposed to UV rays, then it can be converted into triatomic oxygen, that is O3. So detailedly we will see how it can be formed. Now you see, whenever this ozone formation happening, definitely there is the involvement of diatomic oxygen. Okay, when this diatomic oxygen at the atmospheric level, above the atmospheric level, exposed to UV radiation, which is exposed to UV radiation, because of the UV radiation it can split into monoatomic oxygens. One of the monoatomic oxygen again can combine with diatomic oxygen, then it can forms ozone, O3. So we'll study here, then you'll understand. So O2, okay, O2 in presence of UV radiation. So where this UV radiation and how the O2 can be exposed to UV radiation above the stratosphere level, you can check here, above the stratosphere level. Clearly you can see, then you will understand. Okay, above the stratosphere level, ozone layer is formed. Okay, so there this diatomic oxygen, because of UV radiation, can split into monoatomic oxygens. Okay, then again one of this monoatomic oxygen combines with another diatomic oxygen. Okay, then O plus O2, O3. Triatomic oxygen can be formed. So it's a continuous process. Within fraction of seconds, many ozone molecules can be formed. Okay, as it is a continuous process, O3 can be formed by splitting of diatomic oxygen when it is exposed to UV rays. So remember, UV rays is required to form O3, as well as O3 gives protection from harmful UV rays to us. Okay, because of formation of O3, immediate formation of O3, O3 will not allow harmful UV rays to enter into the atmosphere. And this entire O3 can form as a blanket. Check here, it formed as a blanket or shield around this atmosphere. Okay, around the earth's surface as a shield, this entire O3 can be formed. Okay, now, so nowadays we are worrying that ozone layer is depleting. So is it really necessary to get worried when this ozone layer is depleting, or ozone levels are decreasing, or ozone layer is getting holes somewhere, patches somewhere? Is it really necessary to get worried? Definitely. So what happens when we expose to UV rays? If you see, why should we be worried? Life in the ultraviolet zone. So when you are exposed to ultraviolet, why should we worry? Definitely. Now you see, more UV radiation means more skin cancers, more diseases, eye cataracts, less yield from the plants, less productivity from oceans, damage to plastics. So have you understood all these are the bad effects when we expose to UV radiation? Definitely it leads to skin cancer, that you understood. More diseases because UV radiation reduces our immunity. Remember, this is one of the points of harmful effects of UV radiation. UV radiation reduces our immunity so that we get more diseases, and it creates eye cataract. Eye cataract means actually our lens, eye lens, you know that structure. Eye lens should be transparent in nature, then only you can capture the images. But the lenses become opaque in nature. In cataract case, eye lens become cloudy or opaque. Because of that, we can't see clearly. It forms as a layer. Okay, so such disorder is known as eye cataract. And less yield from the plants, definitely they create less yield from the plant. Okay, on plants also UV radiations are having its ill effects. Less productivity from ocean is nothing but ocean products like aqua animals also get damaged because of this UV radiation, and they damage the plastic. Means plastic when exposed to sunlight or UV radiation, they start melting and they releases some harmful poisonous gases. Understood? Even plastic is not a biodegradable. When it is exposed to UV radiation, as it is a toxic one, reaction takes place and they releases some toxic substances. So these all are the harmful effects when we expose to the sunlight. Not only sunlight, when we are exposed to the especially the UV radiation. Okay, so if you see this, less ozone causes increased incidence and severity of sunburn. Definitely increases the incidence and severity of sunburn. We can expose more to the sun, and sunburns also can possible, and it causes more cataract. Okay, cloudy lenses of the eyes, and more skin cancers. More about skin cancer, if you see, as ozone layer is less in this, especially in these countries like Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Argentina, Chile. Because of the ozone layer is thin several months a year in those places, there is increasing skin cancer and cataract cases. Okay, there is an increased skin cancer and cataract cases, that is because of less levels of ozone, especially in these countries. Okay, and we we perform, or we consider September 16th as International Day for the preservation of the ozone layer. Okay, for the preservation of ozone layer we consider September 16th. Okay. Now, how this ozone layer is depleting? I told you ozone layer is depleting. What are the causes for depleting this ozone layer? That is mainly because of CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, and chlorofluorocarbons are the chemical components which can be released from refrigerators, fire extinguishers, okay, propellants or body sprays, okay, air conditioners. In these cases, in these equipments we use, or these industries use these CFCs. CFCs are nothing but chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, chlorofluorocarbons, they are known as CFCs. Very important full form, that is chlorofluorocarbons. Try to remember that. So this amount of ozone in the atmosphere began to drop sharply in the 1980s. The decrease has been linked to synthetic chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons. So main reason for depleting the ozone layer is, main reason is CFCs, which are used as refrigerant and a fire extinguisher. In 1987, United Nations Environment Program, that is UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, that is UNEP, succeeded in forging an agreement to freeze CFC production at 1986 levels. Have you understood this? Now we are in 2020, right? Even we are in 2020, the level of usage of CFCs should be freezed at the year of 1986. Means during the 1986, how much amount of CFCs industries have used, same amount they should continue, or they should freeze that level of usage even in the 2020 also. Otherwise, if they keep on increasing because of industrialization, because of this urbanization, okay, many constructions have taken place, and most of the people started using refrigerators and air conditioners. So this program, if it would not freeze this amount of CFC levels, by the year of 2020 CFC usage can keep on increasing. Because of that, more harmful effects will be there on the on the O3 levels. To avoid that one, United Nations Environment Program succeeded an agreement to freeze CFC production at the 1986 levels. So what they used to use in the during the year of 1986, same amount of O3 they should continue even in the 2020 also. Okay, that agreement has taken by the UNEP. Okay, so what happens because of this CFC? CFCs means, you understood, right? Chlorofluorocarbons. So what happens because of the CFCs? If you can see here this equation, then you will better understand. Check here. CFCs are chlorofluorocarbons, fluorine group, carbon group, chlorine groups. Together they form CFCs. How they are releasing? They can released because of when we use this air conditioners, fire extinguishers or refrigerators, even some type of body sprays, when we are spraying them and when we are using them, these CFCs can be released into the atmosphere, and they go and they enter into the UV radiation level. Above the atmospheric level they enter. Okay, so where this ozone is there, at that level the CFCs can move and they can start reacting with this O3. Now you see, when CFCs are reacted with O3 in presence of UV rays, CFCs are reacted with O3 in presence of UV rays. Okay, one of the chlorine atom started reacting with O3. Because of that, ClO, chlorine group plus oxygen are split, and O3 split into O2. O3 split into O2. Okay. Then definitely level of O3 is decreased, right? Because O3 now converted into O2. O3 is converted into O2. And it is a continuous reaction. Remember, this is a continuous reaction. Then what will happen? Again, this ClO can go and react with one of the monoatomic oxygen, which should be useful to form O3. Actually, that should be useful to form O3. Instead of that, this ClO will go and it start reacting with O. Because of that, instead of formation of O3, again O2 is forming. Again O2 is forming, and this monoatomic chlorine can leave this oxygen group. Okay. So this is the process. Because of this, CFCs can reduce the formation of O3. Actually, this equation is not there in your syllabus. For better understanding, I am explaining this one. Once again, I'll simplify and I'll show you. Check this. Suppose CFCs are nothing but chlorofluorocarbons. From these chlorofluorocarbons, one of the chlorine atom can start reacting with O3. So because of that, what happened? ClO plus O2 can be formed. ClO plus O2. So even O2 is forming. Okay. Even O3 is converted into O2. O2 is forming. You may feel that O2 is helpful to us. Not at all, because above the atmospheric level no one is staying. So even oxygen is forming there, no use to us. Okay. So this O3 levels are converted into O2 levels. O3 is reduced because of chlorofluorocarbons, right? It's reduced because of chlorofluorocarbons, right? Now, actual process, I think you remembered actual process. This is the actual process. With diatomic oxygen, in presence of UV rays, diatomics should convert into monoatomic oxygens, right? And these monoatomic oxygen should react with O2 to form O3. This is the O3 formation which should be done. But because of chlorine group, it can be interrupted. How it can be interrupted, you see. Now, this ClO is there, right? That can split into Cl plus O. Then the monoatomic oxygen is formed, right? This monoatomic oxygen, okay, this monoatomic oxygen start reacting with O3. They start reacting with O3. Then it forms 2O2. 2O2, which is not causing the formation of O3. Okay. So like this, it stop. Chlorine groups or CFCs can stop the formation of O3 and convert the O3 to O2. So whatever it is, anyhow equation is not there in your syllabus. Formation of depletion of ozone is not there in your syllabus, but formation of ozone is there. But for your better understanding, I have explained this. Once go through this one. Okay. Then, what are the measures we should take to reduce ozone depletion? So these are the concern. Definitely it is a cause for concern. Ozone depletion is a cause for concern. So which type of measures we should take to reduce this ozone depletion? Definitely, as CFCs are the main cause for depleting ozone, we should reduce their usage. So how can we reduce the CFC usage? Reduce the usage of air conditioners, refrigerants, fire extinguishers. When it is not needed, we should not use, or else we can go for the alternative methods. Okay. Along with that, we should use unleaded gasoline in vehicles. Unleaded gasoline in vehicles. Okay. And next one, we should equip vehicles with catalytic converters. So what is meant by catalytic converter? Catalytic converters are nothing but these are the catalytic converters is an exhaust emissions control devices that reduce toxic gases and pollutants in exhaust gas from an internal combustion engine into less toxic pollutants. So what they do, they convert the more toxic emissions into less toxic emissions. So toxicity can be reduced. Avoid smoking. Smoking, not only oral smoking, smoke production should be stopped. Okay. Along with that, we can replace CFCs to HCFCs. What is meant by HCFCs? Hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Actually, CFCs means chlorofluorocarbons. HCFCs means hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Okay. When we use them, they are less toxic comparatively CFCs, and commonly they can be used as a propellant and refrigerant. Nowadays they are using as a refrigerant. Okay, so replace CFCs with hydrochlorofluorocarbons, they are HCFCs. And enforcement of Montreal Protocol. Enforcement of Montreal Protocols. Montreal Protocol is nothing but it was designed to stop the production and import of ozone depleting substances and reduce their concentration in the atmosphere to help protect the Earth's ozone layer. Okay, importing and exporting of all these substances which are rich with CFCs should be stopped, and we should follow 1986 Regulating Act. Okay, during the CFC usage time. Mostly this should be followed by the industries. Next, gain a better overall understanding on just how ozone depletion is affecting our planet. So this is the awareness program should be conducted. What are the harmful effects of ozone layer depletion? Okay, when we get awareness, then we can protect ourselves as well as we can reduce the usage of CFCs. So that is about ozone layer depletion. So what we have studied in this topic, what is ozone we have done. Okay, what is ozone we have done, and how ozone can be formed we have done. Okay, and why should we be worried, or why ozone depletion is a cause for concern we have studied, because what are the harmful effects of UV rays? When we expose to the UV rays, what are the harmful effects? We have studied about that. Okay, and how this ozone is depleting because of CFCs, how it is depleting we have studied. What are the measures should be taken to reduce the ozone depletion also we have studied. I hope you understood the topic. Okay.